So recently, I have been playing Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which is a pretty fun game. This video is actually kind of well timed in a way because also apparently the source code for Rayman 4 leaked, so that's kind of coincidental considering I want to talk about Ubisoft a little bit. So I've been enjoying Mario and Rabbids a bunch, and I just couldn't get it out of my head how the game actually came to be. Just to summarize it very quickly, is that an internal Ubisoft team created an XCOM type game in order to show Shigeru Miyamoto. For the game, they recreated Mario and Luigi to play as, and the characters are holding guns, which, you know, lots of memes about that back in the day. And Shigeru Miyamoto and Nintendo themselves were actually so impressed by this that they allowed Ubisoft to use the Mario IP to make a game. And I just think it's crazy that Ubisoft can still crank out, you know, the occasional banger video game that I like playing, considering they're usually a pretty not very reputable company, to say the least, especially with their loot boxes and their various purchase schemes to make you pay like €120 for just the super deluxe version of Assassin's Creed 75. Like, Ubisoft back in the day used to be able to crank out banger after banger. Anyone around my age probably thinks back on like PS2, early PS3 days. I'm thinking stuff like the Sands of Time trilogy, like the old Splinter Cell stuff, Rayman stuff, Beyond Good and Evil. All these games were before the usual Ubisoft formula of just, hey, let's just have a large map with various collectibles and watchtowers that you can synchronize to, and we have to release a game in this franchise every single year. And it's just going to be the most empty map you'll ever experience, and it's just going to be just drivel. But back in those days, it felt like Ubisoft had a lot more passion and care to actually put into their games in order to make a good game. And I think a lot of what I'm saying kind of applies to other video game companies like EA and Activision, but like, I feel that Ubisoft exists at both ends of the spectrum, where they can be either just real, just generic open world collectathons that have nothing in the world, and they can just put out something real original and that just kind of draws you in and has a just, even though it might not be the best game, Mario and Rabbids isn't the best game I've ever played, but I can really just feel the care and attention that was put into it, you know? Now, in the last few years, there's been much more of a focus from Ubisoft on like special editions and DLCs and gaming NFTs that just fall flat on their face because they just want to make money on absolutely everything as much as possible. And then on the actual game design front, they just wanted all their games to be basically the same, that they were just going to be these large open world games with, you know, lots of things to find that don't really contribute much. Hey, you found your 150-second feather. Way to go, champ. Yeah, they love their open worlds with lots of collectibles. And for me, it just really breaks the illusion of games when you can feel that they're these passionless, padded, just absolute time waster of games designed for you to sink hours into the overworld, or to try and get you to pay so you don't have to sink all those hours into the overworld. It just feels garbage. It's just an awful experience. I think it's just interesting how you can feel that passion through a game and how it's designed and how it plays and what it wants you to do. And when that passion is not there, when they literally just want to Control C, Control V on all their games, the illusion of playing a video game, of getting immersed in the world, just breaks so quickly. Because outside of those games, Ubisoft crank out the occasional banger. I don't know how. Like, Immortals Phoenix Rising and Assassin's Creed Odyssey were like 2 years apart. And I feel like Assassin's Creed Odyssey helped inspire Immortals because both games are so steeped in like Greek lore. And I just think that's interesting that Ubisoft have these teams internally that are just like, we really love Greek lore. Let's make some more games about them. I just think that's fun. I only learned this recently, but Ubisoft also made Rocksmith. Did not know that. These games that I'm talking about, just, you can feel a lot more passion in them than any of the other games where it's like, oh, another press Y to synchronize. And the fact that they now have 2 games using the most popular video game character on the planet because they literally have an internal team that love Mario and love Shigeru Miyamoto's work so much that they were actually able to get the license. That's crazy to me, especially from Nintendo. Like, whatever about any other company, but Nintendo are so protective of their IPs. The fact that there was a team in Ubisoft that had enough of a fire lit under them that they impressed them enough to make a game where Mario has a gun, that's pretty impressive. With all that being said, looking forward to the future. There's a Splinter Cell remake coming, which get the same team who made Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory is like, oh. There's a Prince of Persia remake coming, which may revive that IP. Rayman 4 got leaked, but there hasn't been an actual new Rayman game in 10 years. But I don't want these IPs to just exist as corpses with empty worlds and with no actual interest in making them. I want these games to be made with passion. I want to get immersed in the world of these games so that I can enjoy them again and not just feel like they have just been pumped out by something that could probably at this rate be done by an AI because Ubisoft have just made the same formula for years. This statement applies to most game companies across the board. I just think Ubisoft is a very good example for both having so much passion and so little passion in the same company. The passion is what matters, because that's, if you have someone who's passionate in making a good gaming experience, that's going to keep me playing far longer than exploring an open, empty world just for no reason. I've put 20 hours into Mario and Rabbids, and I'm probably going to put another 10 or 15 into it because it's that fun. Passion in these games is what matters, because it's what got me invested in a lot of Ubisoft franchises that they've let die off. But yeah, I just want to see more of that passion in games.